everybody! We're on time this week? Jiminy Christmas, it's a Christmas miracle! I didn't want to use Christmas twice there in that joke, but whatever, let's just dive right into it. We're starting out a new cover page this week, chapter 889, titled An Unknown Mama. Oh, okay, so this is where we're going to find out the mother of Jinbei, or Brook, or the true mother of Chopper. You know, like the deer, the reindeer who gave birth to Chopper is going to show up and finally start being a real parent. You know what? I am happy about this. But before we get to that, the cover page, we start off with the next member of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, Leo, the master of the Tontata tribe. And I didn't really care for Leo all that much. Like his fight with Jola last arc was just kind of the one that I just kind of liked the least. I know a lot of people didn't really care for it all that much because it's like whatever. I mean his back and forth with Mancherry was a little cute, but at the end of the day it didn't really do much for me. But anyway, he's finally deciding to become a pirate. I think. I don't really know if he's gonna build a tiny little boat and then sail the seven seas. He might just be playing dress up. I don't know. But you see Viola and Rebecca in the background, and they're looking on. They're not looking on with a sort of they're heading out to sea. They're looking on as sort of aren't they just adorable? By the way, girls, you better quit paying attention to the freaking Tontatas. You need to get dressed and you need to go to Reverie. Alright, so you finish up your fancy dress or whatever, make sure it, pushes your boobs up, and then get out that door, get on that ship, get to freaking Marie-Joie, and start doing things important right now! Not before you do the boob thing, though. That's a really important aspect that needs to be addressed. But yeah, Leo's gonna become a pirate. You see all the Tontatas there. You see the bee girl and the beetle guy. And my favorite, who was your favorite Tontata? Mine was Wicca. Mine was the one that ran around and stole one of Zoro's swords. That was my favorite one, the blue-haired one. But alright, getting into the actual chapter, we cut over to the massacre scene that Ceylon Carrot is divvying out upon the Big Mom fleet, with Daifuku, of course, being present. So, Daifuku ability, we don't know what his devil fruit is called yet, but it's a paramecia, and it has the ability to summon a genie. He literally he doesn't seem to have any battle capabilities himself. I mean, he's a pretty buff dude, so he could probably, wring your neck or, knock you for a loop. But his ability is he rubs his stomach, and then a genie pops out of his stomach and then proceeds to, I guess, carry out his master's wish. Because in this chapter, when he does that, the genie comes out and is like, "Oh, master, speak now and tell me what you would have of me." And Daifuku's just like, "Kick her freaking buddy ass!" I'm like, "I shall do this." And then the, genie just charges, takes out his freaking glaive or whatever and begins to attack Carrot. I wonder, what are the limits with this technique, "Speak, master, what is your wish?" I'm like, "I want 1 billion berries." Okay. Could it work in that? Or is it only for, physical labor tasks? Like, Daifuku's just chilling out on the couch wearing a wife beater. He's like, "Oh, man, I really want a beer. I really don't want to get up. Speak, master. Yeah, give me a beer." Okay. And then he floats into the kitchen, grabs it, and is Bud Light or Yingling? Okay. Oh, Yingling. What the fuck are you talking about? Look. All right, later. Also, something else that seems to be prevalent is he has to keep rubbing his stomach to keep the genie out, in that when he stops rubbing his tummy, the genie goes back in, as what we've seen so far. But other than that, it's a really interesting devil fruit. I want to see more of this. But it doesn't seem to be... The AI on this genie doesn't seem to be upgraded as much as you would think. Because, Daifuku could just give it a really specific command, like, go and destroy or kill that bunny lady that's wrecking our ships, and the genie doesn't seem to have any regard for, Daifuku's own ship. He just takes that as a direct message, eliminate the bunny, like a genie Terminator, so to speak. So, the genie starts, slicing and dicing at freaking Carrot, causing mass damage in its wake, wrecking the ship, and the genie doesn't care. The genie just keeps on attacking. So, yeah, that actually seems to be helping Carrot out quite a bit. She's like, wow, this guy's pretty actually helpful, He's helping me destroy his own fleet. You don't get that kind of help when you're under attack. But thank you, Daifuku's genie, for helping out. By the way, am I the only one that imagines this thing speaking in Robin Williams' voice? I'm sorry, I'm an Aladdin fan. It just, it sticks. What are you gonna do? But anyway, we cut back over to the Thousand Sunny, where we see Nami now observing the carnage, and she's like, wow, she's like jumping ship to ship. She's really helpful. And then you cut to Chopper, who's still aghast by the whole thing. He's just like, but Carrot, she was like my little sister. I can't believe she was capable of this. So I imagine there's like little hints of pride, maybe, you know, when Carrot joined up with the Straw Hat crew, you know, Chopper was maybe like, you know, hey, you know, you're an animal, I'm an animal, but I've been on this crew a lot longer than you, you know, so don't worry, I'll take you under my wing. It's sort of like Chopper's got an intern, basically. So, Jinbei begins to give us the deets on the Ceylon form, the Moon Lion form that Carrot is now using to wreck all of Big Mom's shit like a freaking electrical crazy war bunny. So basically he explains that, yeah, whenever the minks stare at the full moon, and as long as it's, you know, not, you know, no cloud cover, full moon, perfect in the sky, when they view that for a period of time, they begin to regress into a more feral version of them, like from the past or something. Maybe it has something to do with the freaking Void Century. I don't know. I'm just saying. It possibly is. But Jinbei also goes on to say that normally, like, every mink can do this. Every mink can just, if they stare at the moon, you know, full in the sky with no obstructions, they can achieve this form. However, usually it's no help to anybody because, as I previously hypothesized, whenever, you know, a regular mink with no training looks at the thing, they just go berserker. They just go into a crazy mode and they just start ripping like a wild animal and just start ripping things to shreds. So much to the point that they'll literally go crazy to the point of exhaustion and they die from a night's worth of just wrecking everything. So, you know, Ozaru from Dragon Ball Z, or like werewolves just from mythology, like just this crazy wild beasts that have no control over themselves and they just keep rampaging. Actually, this is even worse than the whole Ozaru and werewolf thing, because Ozaru and you know, werewolves from mythology, they don't die at the end of the night. You know, they're just kind of given some incredible amount of stamina. You know, like Goku will be rampaging and then after the moon goes away, he'll turn back into a normal Saiyan and then he'll be fine. Werewolves, the same deal. They'll wreck, you know, go around London and rip people apart, but then they'll turn back into normal humans at the end of the day. That was a werewolf. That was an American Werewolf in London reference. Did anybody get that? Okay. That was a good movie. Come on, you gotta go watch that. You gotta stick with the classics. Okay, but anyway, yeah, that's normally the situation that goes down, but Carrot here, she can actually control herself. Now, that doesn't mean that all of the weaknesses of this form have just been eliminated. We're gonna get to that in a second, but it does prove that with proper training, you can control this form, and so that still makes Carrot a very valuable future member of this crew, if I do say so myself, and I do believe I just did. By the way, I already used my Christmas wish. I already asked Santa to make Carrot a member of the crew, so sorry. I mean, you could go out of your way to ask for Santa to ignore my wish, but then you're not getting a freaking Xbox One this Christmas. I'm a genius. Okay, so Jinbei finishes up his explanation. He doesn't exactly go into detail, though, on the whole training thing. He just says, normally this form would be of no use to anybody, and that's all he says. But clearly that's not the case. Clearly she is in control of it. So then Brooks steps up, takes out his cane sword, Soul Solid, and then he states, oh, so it's a double-edged sword then. Well, I must go help her. And it's like, well, I don't know, like, he didn't really go on to say all the particulars of this form, but hey, okay, Brooks gonna help out, and I mean, he's really the only person that could help out at the moment. I mean, Jinbei could too. Jinbei could totally just jump in the water and just rocket toward that freaking ship and wreck some things up with the ocean currents, you know, water heart, but I think he needs to stay on the ship right now to man the helm, most certainly. So Brooks gonna try to, you know, take off his hat and give it a shot. He jumps under the water. Little callback from Thriller Bark is that Brook can actually run on the water because he's so light. He just hits the water and he just starts sprinting, and like a water skinner, he just like skins right across the water here, singing yo ho 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 along the way. I'm imagining in the distance, you cut over to Daifuku's ships, and one of the pirates, he's looking around, the ships are falling apart. He's like, oh my god, we're all gonna die! And then he just hears, in the distance, he just hears, yo ho ho ho, yo ho ho ho. And he's like, what is that? And he turns around and just sees this skeleton rocketing towards him with a sword. And he's like, I don't want to die. It's Christmas. Yeah, they celebrate Christmas in Totland. There is a Santa in One Piece. Guess who it is? I'll give you 3 guesses on who Santa is. Comes down from the sky, delivers presents. It's Eneru. It's Eneru. Eneru is Santa, and the presents just happen to be lightning bolts, but that day is coming. Okay, so, yeah, Brooke starts rocketing towards it, and Chopper mentions, okay, we're being surrounded, there's ships behind us too, we need to do something. So then, we cut over to Big Mom to see what she's up to. Now remember, Big Mom was slimming down a little bit last chapter. She was going on Atkins or whatever it was, and she was slimming down, and there were two camps to this. People were like, even me, I'll admit, was like, oh, well, you know, she's eventually going to get so thin that she's going to run her tank empty and she won't be able to fight anymore. And then other people are like, oh no, she's going through a badass transformation, and yeah, she's going to get stronger. And I'm not going to say that you're right, but I will admit that I am wrong. That's the best you're getting, Internet. No, I'm just kidding. I was totally wrong. But yeah, we see the sun we saw last chapter, the Bavaroa. It's Bavarian cream. That's what the English version of it is, but it's some other. Yeah, I thought it was a pasta dude because of his hair, but no, apparently it's the Bavarian cream dude. Which, hey, has anyone ever actually tried putting Bavarian cream on pasta? You do that and check back to me, and if it tastes delicious, then you still gotta give me cred. All right. Well, anyway, yeah, they're all looking at Big Mom like, what's going on? And now she's kind of switched up her little thing here. Big Mom up to this point was just shouting, you know, cake, I want some cake, you know, slurs her words a little bit. But no, now she's switching it up to Zeus and Prometheus. She's like, Zeus, Prometheus, come hither. You know, so she's like demanding her homies arrive, and they're still off in the distance. They're still, you know, en route to get there. But it just seems that, you know, something's up with Big Mom. And Sparrow mentions she's getting thinner and thinner. She's had this eating fit, you know, these hunger pangs for like the past 8 hours. All right, it is 1 o'clock we started this little show. It's now 9. And yeah, this is never, as I said last chapter, like they've never had to deal with this before. This is the longest hunger pain they've had to deal with without satiating her. They don't know what's going to happen. And this, keep in mind, this is Sparrow. This is the eldest son. This is the one that's been around Big Mom the longest, outside of like Strewson or whoever. So if you know, he would know. You know, he is scared by this, and that is something that is terrifying. So yeah. They don't know what's going to happen, but the Bavarian cream dude, he steps up and he announces, hey, brother Sparrow, the cake is on the way. And Sparrow's like, oh, good. I'm not going to have to die today. Good. So what's up? He's like, yeah, cake's coming, pudding's bringing it, but it's on Beige's ship. And then Sparrow's like, what? That's not good. Because they can't trust Beige as far as they can throw him. And Beige's, you know, he's a pretty short guy, so you could just bunt him and he could go flying. But the point is, they can't trust him to give this cake. Now, I don't think anybody out there was thinking that they were just going to hand over the cake to Sparrow, and Sparrow was going to be like, okay, thank you, here's the cake, Big Mom. No, I'm imagining this like the cake is arriving, Sanji just lifts the damn thing up and just shoves it right down freaking Big Mom's throat with like a kick, you know? Like, you know, here we go, Spectre cake shove, and then, you know, that kind of stuff I was expecting. But, yeah, it does bring up an interesting point, you know, something I didn't really think about, like, even with the cake on Beige's ship, with the cake on Beige's ship, they don't trust them to give the cake to Big Mom because, as we cut back over to Beige's ship proper, we see an argument between Sanji and Beige about this same issue, because Beige, being the, you know, crime boss, awesome assassin, he's almost got a perfect record, you know, 1 loss, 99,000 victory. I don't know, Beige probably has a lot of blood of people on his hands, but he's like saying over to Sanji, he's like, wait a second, so you're telling me we have a cake that Big Mom is 100% going to eat? And Sanji's like, yeah. We need to stuff this thing full of cyanide immediately, you know, or explosives, TNT. We need to shove as much deadly things in this thing to kill her like 30 times over. And of course, because Sanji takes his pride as a cook very seriously, he's like, no way in hell would I ever allow you to do that. We're not doing it. And they get into a big argument. And hey, look, it's the same argument I was having. Like, I get it, Sanji. I get it. You're a chef. This is a Yonko we're dealing with here. Do you know how hard it is to get rid of one of these? Alright, this is not like just a warlord you dealt with. This isn't just like some random rabble-rouser pirate, or some guy with a bandana that swings iron balls around, or some guy with big golden armor that shoots gas bombs at you. This is a person that is extremely hard to stop. Alright, and you know, you're given an opportunity right now. Like, they might still have some of that poison that Caesar cooked up. They could shove that in there. But of course, Sanji's like, no. Now Sanji's like the kind of guy, like in this situation, like, Nami is in danger, for God's sake. Like, this is something where Nami might get, you know, taken out. And Sanji, instead of viewing it like, Nami's in danger, I'm going to poison this cake and get rid of Big Mom, his viewpoint is, Nami's in danger, so the only possible way I can do this is to make a cake that is just so drop-dead, freaking kiss my ass and call me Sally Delicious, that Big Mom will be completely satiated and she'll be put into a hypnotic state. She'll pass out. Same thing that he's been saying all over again. We're gonna make a cake that'll make Big Mom faint. That's the way that he takes it. He doesn't take the easy way out and says, oh, we gotta get rid of her. All right, we'll just make a cake and then coat it with poison. No, we're gonna make a cake that's just so damn delicious it makes her faint. That's the only possible way I can see this, because I'm not tainting a cake. It's against my pride as a chef. I'm not doing it. Okay, Sanji, fine. We'll go with your plan. Like, the cake is obviously going to be delicious. He even shoves a scoop in freaking Beige's mouth as they're arguing. And, you know, Beige just immediately strikes this, it's a good cake. So, you know, it's clearly going to be something delicious. And that was just a spoonful of the stuff. You know, he's going to shove this entire thing down Big Mom's throat at once. She's probably going to, I would have, like, oh, man. I just thought of something hilarious Oda can do. Big Mom's thing is souls, right? Because she has the soul fruit. How awesome would it be if after she gets this cake shoved down her throat, we see this really elaborate image of Big Mom, like, you know, she's on the ship, she's on the candy sea slug after eating the cake, and then her soul, like not literally, but just figuratively, like in the terms of the art style, her soul gets ripped from her body, and it has like a little halo and little tiny angel wings, and it starts floating up to heaven, and then it falls back down in her body. Like, that's the way that Oda conveys to us how delicious this thing is. I think that would be funny. I think that would be pretty funny. That would be something that Oda could do, totally. But anyway, yeah, after you know, shoving the cake into his mouth, Beige kind of has to, like, slap himself, like, whoa, it was like I was being hypnotized or something. Damn, that cake has a lot of power. And then Sanji stands over him looking all cool, you know, I'll feed whoever's hungry. That's a cook's job. I'm like, all right, Sanji. Damn it, you're cool. All right, fine. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you, Sanji. You can do this. Oh, yeah, by the way, then we cut over to Pudding, who faints and has, like, her 50th orgasm or whatever. Okay, great. He looks over, Sanji does, he looks out to sea and he just wonders, he's like, I hope Nami's okay. We cut back over to a random point in the sea where we see Zeus and Prometheus, and they're heading on their way toward Napoleon's thought waves. They're all connected to Big Mom through the soul fruit. They are literally Big Mom's own soul divided up into the form of a storm cloud and a hat and a fireball. So it's weird. You'd think they would just be able to follow like a natural homing signal to Big Mom, but instead they make a reference that they're following Napoleon. But then again, Big Mom's not exactly in her right mind right now, so maybe following Napoleon would be better. That's something else to introduce too. The other homies that were created with Big Mom's fruit from other people's souls, like the cannonballs, those ones were acting like high as hell. You know, they were like, whoa, man, we're heading off on a... But these homies, Zeus, Prometheus, and Napoleon, that are made of Big Mom's own soul, they seem to be... They're a little bit, you know, Zeus and Prometheus are getting in an argument and everything, but they're still following their main objective, which is going back to Big Mom. So they seem to have a little bit more control over themselves, even though Big Mom is in this crazy state, and they are basically her clones in homie form. They still seem to have a little bit more better control than the other homies did, like the cannonballs did. So yeah, they get into an argument, but they then cut back over to Daifuku's fleet, where Carrot is still doing her ballerina, jumping up and like, ah! I'm imagining everything goes slow-mo as soon as she attacks. Everyone's running around like, oh no, what are we gonna do? And then she just jumps in the air and it all just goes, whoo. And then pfft, lightning shocks everybody. She's running around, she's ripping out all of the freaking helms of all these ships, and but she mentions that after doing this X number of times, she's like, oh, okay, oh, That was like the 8th ship I've done that to. I'm starting to lose consciousness a little bit. I'm starting to get a little bit exhausted. How many more ships are left to this? And then we cut over to Daifuku's genie, who is still in the process of trying to hit her. She's way too fast. She's way too agile. She can make like 45-degree turns in the middle of the air. This genie is not going to hit her. And so he keeps cutting up their own ships, and then that's when Carrot is like, oh man, this guy's really helpful. And then you have Brook arrive, and Brook doesn't really do anything in the way of like damaging the ships, but Brook is basically her ride out of there. Carrot notices after the damage that she did and the damage that Daifuku's genie did. I think that's enough. You know, they're not going to be able to follow us properly. They're going to drift in the sea without a helm, without being able to control their rudder. So, you know, Brook grabs her and they go across the water. I'm a little bit interested because now he's a lot heavier now, you know, because he has to carry Carrot, but whatever, I'll go with it. He still runs across the water, and he mentions, you know, are you going to be all right? Are you going to go back to normal? And Carrot's like, yeah, as long as, and she kind of takes her hat and she kind of puts it over her eyes. And she's like, yeah, as long as, you know, I'm not actually physically staring at the full moon. So I could literally just, I could put on glasses or my hat, or it could be just, I could just close my eyes for a certain number of minutes, and then I'll go back to normal. You know, the light of the full moon uplifts us. That's the way she puts it. So look, many of you might say, hey, this form, she can only go into this form for a brief amount of time, therefore it's not going to be that useful. But yeah, remember, we get the full moon every, you know, we have like 7 moons in One Piece. We can get this. And if nothing else, this just means she has room for growth. Also to develop her powers as the Ceylon form. So don't worry, I think she's going to still join the crew, and we're going to get some, she'll have to train up a little bit, but she'll be able to master this form longer and longer, and she'll be able to maintain it. She was able to maintain it for a good number of, I would say, like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, you know, going around, bouncing around, wrecking all those ships. It was a decent amount of time. It wasn't like a one and done. It wasn't like, I can have this form for 10 seconds, you know. It would seem to be a decent amount of minutes, you know, to go into a fight. And keep in mind, though, this was also when she was jumping around like crazy going ship to ship. Maybe if it's a one-on fight, it would be a little different because she's not as exerting herself as much. If it was just like a straight-up fight, who knows? Depends. I guess it depends on how strong the opponent would be. All right, so she managed to deal pretty good damage to Daifuku's ships. We cut over to Big Mom, where Prometheus and Zeus have finally arrived, and she states, as she seems to have a little bit more control over herself, she announces, Napoleon, go into your sword form. So, of course, Napoleon is the hat, the bicorn hat, transforms into a sword, and then Napoleon and, Prometheus and Zeus just kind of crash into Big Mom. They just land right into her, like they're like doing the freaking fusion technique. I'm making a lot of Dragon Ball references in this video. And then all of a sudden, oh my god! Guys, Big Mom's hot! No, I mean, no, not in that way. Not in the sexual way. God, no. I mean, she's thinned down a little bit, but still, no. No, I mean, her hair is literally on fire. The fact that Big Mom is hot is the most apt describer I could do for this right now. Yeah, so her hair's lit up like a Super Saiyan. Might as well just go with that. I mean, I'm already sticking with it. She's riding on Zeus. Napoleon's sword form seems to take the form but before it was just a regular sword popping out of the hat. This time it kind of reminds me of a Spada Girl, of Baby Five's sword thing, because it has a face on it. And then she just starts charging for the freaking Thousand Sunny, and she crashes down on that thing right on the freaking center deck, and all the Straw Hats are glaring at her, and everyone's freaking out. Carrot's barely conscious. She's like passed out off to the side, and I'm just sitting there. I don't know if you guys were having the same thought as me, but obviously the strongest person on this ship is Jinbei, like strongest, easy. And I'm thinking, okay, we got to see Carrot's ultimate fighting technique. Jinbei, come on! I know you got some, like, you know, Fishman Karate, Grandmaster technique, Super Billion Brick Fist Water Hard blah! You know, I'm like, come on, do something cool, Jinbei, come on! Summon like a giant wave of water, just like, I want my wedding, and just gets knocked off the side of the ship, and like do something and get away, create an ocean current out of nothing. You can do crap. Jinbei off to the side. Granted, he is a little bit more composed than the others. He does look really nervous, but he's a little bit better than the others. Actually, Brook looks pretty demonic. Brook looks like, I'm gonna cut her down, you know? So, but Jinbei's like, we might have to abandon this ship if it's necessary. Hold tight. Get back, everybody. we can't abandon the Thousand Sunny. We've already lost one ship so far in this series, and I can't take that heartbreak a second time. So we're not abandoning the Thousand Sunny, we're just dissing that idea immediately. But yeah, I think with Jinbei's skills, I mean, he would be able to summon a water current or something onto the deck and just knock her off, like a water spear. You have Brook there, he has his soul powers, maybe Brook can strum it up to the next level. He's just like, hey, look, I'm just saying, he's pushed back against a wall, facing down a Yonko for the second time. Maybe Brook learned some stuff from the first time. Maybe he's like, you know, I'm putting my life on the line, like, Soul Overdrive or something. Now I'm doing JoJo references. Soul Overdrive! And it just summons that giant spirit thing behind him. And it might not be able to fight against Big Mom on par, but it might be able to hold her back for a little bit. Something cool like that. Alright? We got the skeleton with the soul powers. We got the warlord with all the fisherman karate techniques. We got Nami, she's there. Hey, she's got the electrical thing. I don't know if that'll work a second time, but she's got it. And we got Chopper, who's got Monster Point, and, you know, Carrot's already done what she can do. Carrot's out of this fight. She's resting in one of the cabins away from the moonlight. But, yeah, that's... They got things, they got options. I'm just saying, the Super Saiyan 3 Yonko that just crashed out on your ship with the blazing hair and the thundercloud and the giant sword. You know, I'm just saying that is intimidating, but they do have options. Yeah, and I don't know, I mean, I would say best case scenario, this is the point when Beijing arrives, you know, as the saving grace with the cake. And that's the best I can do. Or Big Mom takes one look around this ship and realizes that there's no cake, and that's when she goes back to Perispero and deals out all this divine judgment on him. That's another option that I'm cool with. But yeah, next chapter though, I would like to see how the Straw Hats get out of it. Like seriously, like putting their powers to the test, like Brook's power, Jinbei's power, and then not defeating Big Mom, because probably no way that's gonna happen, but, you know, maybe push her off the ship or something. And also, and she's got Zeus. So pushing her off the ship doesn't mean she's gonna fall in the water. Pushing her off the ship just means she has to, like, get on Zeus and, like, fly away and come back, and maybe they can, you know, shoot the freaking Gao cannon at her at that point. I don't know. Also, with Big Mom getting thinner and thinner, you know, while it does seem like a boost, it does seem like she's getting more and more desperate, you know, like people that are, you know, they're you know, super hungry, they're willing to do anything, so that's why she maybe got a power boost at the moment, you know, where it's maybe her life is on the line. So don't view it as like she's getting thinner, therefore she's getting stronger. Maybe it's like, you know, she's getting thinner, but it's just because she's so desperate and because she might be actually close to passing out or dying. That's why she could summon up this energy, you know, like an adrenaline boost. Like, I read this story once about this guy that was mountain climbing, and he got crushed by a giant boulder, and it's like this boulder weighed like a tremendous amount. Like, there's no way you could lift it. And, you know, he was about to die. He was about to get crushed by this thing, and it was like a burst of freaking adrenaline, and his muscles, because you're only using a certain percentage of your muscles, and he went to like 100% for a brief second, and it like ripped apart his freaking ligaments and everything, but he pushed this damn boulder off because he was gonna die. You know, that might be something we're seeing with Big Mom here. Like that, it's like, oh, I'm right up against the wall, this bad shit's gonna happen, I gotta go full power, even just for a little while. So I don't know, I would still hold off on that for a while. I don't know how long she maintains this, she has this form, cool. Let's see her maintain it, and then we're talking. But okay, that's this chapter review. Glad I got it out rather early. I gotta go do some other stuff today, guys, but thank you for watching. Have a Merry Christmas, everybody, because I probably won't. Well, I'll see you. I have a few other videos planned for the holiday coming up, so you'll definitely see me, but this will be the last chapter review until after Christmas. But I hope you all have a great holiday. This will be Tekking101 signing out. Later, everybody. Laser pointer! Very festive laser pointer.